Welcome to the Dive Bar. Special conversation coming your way tonight. We are joined by former Dolphin corner and NFL corner Sean Smith. Can't thank him enough for taking some time tonight. We love talking to the OGs, the vets that came through here and shed some sweat and tears for us. So happy to get Sean on tonight. We were talking backstage. Super cool dude, rocking a little Versace, something light. Got a sick painting behind him. But Eric, let's get into it, man. All right, well, let's get right into it, man. Sean, how we doing tonight, man? What's going on in your world these days?
Oh man, I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. Taking it easy for the most part. I'm coaching high school ball right now over in Chaminade in Hollywood. So we just wrapped up spring ball over there, and I got the rest of the month, man, and enjoy life before we get back going.
Heck yeah, awesome, man. Well, let's jump right into it. Obviously, tell us a little bit about your background, how you came up in, California playing ball, and obviously you go to Utah and then you end up a Dolphin. Give us a little bit of your background coming up in football.
Got you. Born and raised in Pasadena, California. Very competitive city, known for hella athletes that never make it out. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. So, growing up, you see, some of the guys around the city and you hear he was the man at this high school and he was the man there. And it's like, I'm just going to be another name that just, draw out the hat. But I was fortunate enough to have a high school coach who saw something in me and kind of made me a deal. Like, look, if you just take school serious for a little bit, I'm going to bring scouts to you. And I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever. I sent enough guys around town to know nobody makes it out of Pasadena. So I ain't gonna lie, I kind of bullshit my first 3 years. And in my senior year, he brought a scout from Texas. I don't know what school it was, but it's the first scout anyone has ever seen in my high school. So I'm like, hey, he's serious. He's serious to lock in. So I did what I had to do. I was already 6'2", 206 as a senior. So I'm like, I got the size. It's just a matter of me putting it on tape and taking care of business. So unfortunately, my transcripts didn't look good enough by the time I decided to flick that switch. So, being from California, I'm thinking Pac-10 for sure. But, you got to turn them transcripts in. So kids, if you're watching this, grades matter. Grades fucking matter, man. So I don't know what strings Utah pulled, but they were able to get me through the cracks and get me out there to Salt Lake City, which ended up being a blessing for me. Went out there with Coach Whittingham in Utah. And it's crazy because I took a recruiting trip, and I think like January. So it was cold, but it wasn't like super cold and snowy yet. So I'm out there, my first time really seeing snow, and they're like, oh yeah, this is as cold as it gets. Don't even worry about it. Just, come out here and take care of you. Man, I must have got out there within the first couple of days, fool, just full on blizzard. I'm talking about, it's nothing worse waking up before school, looking outside your window. I'm from Cali. I got an umbrella thinking I'm about to do some shit. Ain't no umbrella about to work in the snow. Bro, foot full of fucking snow, man. Hell of a culture shock. But so yeah, now I'm out in Utah, right? I'm out there as a running back, believe it or not. I went out there as a running back, and I redshirted my freshman year because I'm like, look, coach, I'm really not trying to do this. In high school, you can get away with being the best athlete and doing all that other shit, but college, you got to take on linebackers and pass protection and shit, and that wasn't really my game. So I'm like, hey, let me go outside and get busy. So like, all right, so they redshirted my freshman year. Redshirt freshman year, I finally got the receiver. Saw a little bit of action, but they wanted to bring me in to run like the triple option and shit like that. So I'm like, all right, I'm in the spread offense. You're going to run triple option. I'm already thinking NFL. Like, there is no other option. So in my mind, I'm not going to get the kind of stats I need to get drafted high in a spread offense. You know what I mean? Because when you spread the ball around, the top guy may get, 700 yards receiving?
Yep.
If let's say we're all on the same team, you may get 300, he gets 400, he gets 700, I get my little 500. Like we're a group effort. You know what I mean? That's not gonna get none of us drafted first round. So I'm like, all right, Sean, something got to shake because this not gonna work. So crazy enough, we end up playing UCLA in Pasadena. So I'm hell excited. I'm like, I'm going to my hometown. I'm about to go crazy. You know what I mean? The offensive coordinator, he drew up some passing plays for me. Like, bro, you're going to score this game right in front of your family in the family section. Like, it was all planned out. So here come the game. We out there, we playing. Sure enough, we're on the 30-yard line. He calls my play and like, hey, Sean, where you at? I'm about to go in. I take two steps. And then my receiver coach pulls me back, puts in somebody else to score on my play in the family section in front of everybody. Bro,
from the family section too.
In front of bro, everything I'm on it. So I lost it on the sideline. Like, snap, man. Fuck this. I'm not playing no more. Matter of fact, I'm not even getting on the bus. Y'all can have this shit. I'm walking home after this. Swear to God. So I'm sitting there after the bus. Everybody trying to convince me, go back up. I'm like, nah, like y'all playing with my future. Like I'm trying to go to the league. That's the only reason I'm here, right? So long story short, my mom and the head coach, we kind of talked it over, and I'm like, all right, if I go back, I'm playing defense. I'm not about to play these kind of games on offense no more. So we went back. I talked to Coach Witt, and we had a meeting. He said, all right, you want to play some defense? Let's see what you got. So put me at safety. All right, safety, cool, no problem. I'm ball hawking everything, looking amazing until I had to tackle. So I don't know if anybody knows about my game. That's not what I do. All right, that's not what I do. Not what I do. Right. So let's say I olayed hella tackles coming straight down the middle. And he was like, all right, Sean, well, corner is the only position left. Mind you, I've never played this in my life, but I know the offensive plays. So we lining up, they audibly changing the plays, and I already know the routes. So I'm jumping hella shit at practice. So I I look like a natural. Like, damn, Sean, this is your calling. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm just rolling with it. And I'm smart enough to, understand defenses and coverages. And at this point, I'm what 6'3", 210, right? So
Freak.
they just threw my big ass in the boundary in college. And I don't know if you guys know a lot about college ball, but in the boundary, you get a slant, a fade, and a comeback, maybe a dig on third down. Like it's four routes you got to cover in the boundary in college. So I'm just over there pressing, doing what I got to do, just playing off pure athleticism, not really knowing much about cornerback, man. And I was just fortunate enough to be on a good team with a good staff, with great players around me, man. We had an amazing run. We went undefeated, 13-0, Sugar Bowl, beat Alabama. And I just started looking around. Some of my teammates was like, shit, what we doing? What we doing? If y'all leave, I'm leaving. And I remember me and my guy, Paul Kruger, who got drafted to the Ravens.
Yep.
Me and him was close. He was like, man, what's up? I'm like, we out. Here we go. And shit, the rest was history. Sure enough. Got drafted second round.
You were talking about the cold earlier, right? And when you're saying you got switched to safety, I feel like the cold had a little impact on tackling because I know what it's like to hit somebody in the cold. It's a lot different.
Bro, we had a running back named Matt Asiata who played for the Vikings, right?
That's a name.
Big Samoan. First of all, I know you guys seen those Instagram videos of the
that new tackle football league,
bro.
Dude, that's just crazy.
Imagine this big Samoan coming out the backfield at my tall, skinny. I didn't want no parts of this. I was no parts. So that's how that happened.
That's definitely the worst part about it. But then, hey, getting a transition to coming down to Miami, right? It doesn't get any better than that. Going from the cold up in Utah and the altitude, and then coming to South Florida and getting enjoyed by the beach.
See, people don't really understand. All right, playing in Miami is is a whole nother animal, right? So as a fan, you look at players like, hey, I want you to do the right thing and get 8 hours of sleep and eat good food and study extra, just be the perfect athlete for your team, right?
Yeah.
Not realizing I was in Salt Lake City, Utah for 4 years, and you drop me off in Miami and give me $1 million. What? what are we talking about? What? You give me $1 million in Miami at 21 years old? Bro, went crazy. Whatever you imagine.
What was the
it happened.
first thing? What was the first thing you had bought with your $1 million? First purchase.
Oh, my first purchase. I think I bought a car. Yeah, I bought a car. The BMW X6 just came out.
Ooh, okay,
It-
go
it-
right down Miami with it.
And it was crazy because I actually wanted to get a used car and just do it the right way.
Yeah.
Man, that shit
Everybody
hit that
does.
corner. As soon as I got to the lot, man, it drove by. I was like, what is this? Bring it. Bring it.
Look, I had
Bought it.
told you. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
And I bought it, dropped the top, straight down 95 South. Straight down 95 South.
I had told you that I talked to Nolan about you last week, and it's
Yeah.
funny that we were going to save this for a little later, but since you're already in it, we were talking about South Florida and the nightlife and being young and how hard that is. And of course, we started talking about Sean Smith. And maybe we brought up The Office, maybe we didn't. I don't know, but I know that you've been honest about this and open about this on other podcasts. I know you're on the Fish Tank, but talk a little bit about how hard it really is being in South Florida, being an NFL player, having money, being the man, and maybe showing up later once or twice for practice.
You remember that show Ballers?
Yeah.
That's just real life. Like that's just real life. Life is rough, man. So I get drafted, right? All right, so I'm going to the NFL. I'm like, okay, Sean, you know what? You got to be professional. You got to mature. Obviously I'm young. I get it. I'm excited, but I want to do things the right way, right? First person I probably see in the locker room was Joy Porter, right? I'm a big Joy Porter fan.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Bro, he's from California. He's all the energy, everything you want. Like, okay, cool. I want to be around that guy. You know what I mean? So when I go to the locker room, I want to go kick it with him. And who's sitting next to him? You got Channing Crowder. So now I got Crowder over there, right? So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to be hanging around them. Like, whatever y'all want to do, I'm doing it. I'm with y'all. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna get into details like that, but just say I had some great role models, and I'm just trying to pass me the torch. You know what I mean? Pass me the torch. I know what to do with it. But South Florida, man, it's a hard mentally because you got to understand these other cities that you play in. But things close at 2:00, so you can go out and have a great night. You'll be home by 2:33. Get you 5 hours of sleep, whatever the case may be. No, fool. Like, we in Miami. Like, it was literally countless times we going straight from the spot.
Yeah.
I'm not going home. I'm going straight to the facility. I'm gonna take a 30-minute nap in the sauna. I'm gonna go in the training room. I'm gonna get 2 bags of IVs, and I'm back. Just for someone to tell me the very next day, come out, Sean, it's gonna be the best night ever. It's Tuesday. What do you mean it's gonna be the best night ever? Not on a Tuesday, bro. And then Wednesday comes. And then Thursday comes. And then it's like, well, Sean, you gotta go out on a Friday night. It's Miami. You gotta see. Only for Saturday to be epic. And then they tell you about Live on Sunday. What the fuck is Live on Sunday? You gotta go see Live. And then that's when I realized, bro, every single night can be the best night ever. How do you say no?
You can
How do
see
you
it
say
in
no?
his eyes right now. He's thinking back. He's like, damn.
How?
Damn.
All right. I tell my friends all the time, Coach Sperano, rest in peace, kept me in the NFL. I should have been going a long time ago. Like, the amount of times I was late, it was at least once a week. At least. It was hard. It was just hard to say no to going out and having fun. I mean, you've been doing this since I was a kid. This is my dream. I finally made it. And this is what the NFL is. You work hard, you play hard. Cool. You know? So I would get there. Obviously, it'd be a little envelope on my seat with a little fine, a little 1,500. But then you go to practice. Like I said, I'll hydrate, get the IVs, and you go to practice, you get 2 picks, no harm, no foul. I'm like, okay, this is the life. This is how it's supposed to be, right? So I was doing that for a while until I got hit with conduct detrimental, and that's like 25,000. So now I'm out there playing for free, and that's when I was like, okay, Sean, hold on now, this ain't funny no more. This shit ain't cool no more. You know what I mean? So that's when players like Nolan says, "Nah, Sean, we're not hanging out with you tonight. We about to go home." It's like, damn, I get fined one time and I don't want to hang out. Yeah, so nah, man, we had a lot of fun, man, but it taught you how to grow up fast, because on the flip side of things, there were players who were either drafted way lower than me or were free agents who might have showed up late with me, and he's gone by lunchtime. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I realized, like, we're not equal. You know, whoever's getting paid has more leeway than the next man. And I definitely learned that fast in the NFL, that the business side of this thing is crazy.
I wanted to ask a little bit more about it was one of my questions anyway, but I wanted to ask more about Coach Sperano and how he was as a person, as a coach, and as a mentor to you and anybody in the locker room, really.
Bro, Coach, solid dude, man. I always kept it real with you. I ain't gonna lie, going inside his office was always a little scary, man, because it was dim lit. You know, he had the blinds cracked, he has glasses on. Like, it was real mafia type shit. You know, what I mean, I felt like he fed into that, and he lived
Tony
it.
Sperano, yeah.
Yeah. Every time I went there, I just knew I was in trouble. Like, I was a little ass kid again. Like, fuck, I'm in trouble, man. You know what I mean? But he always just sat me down. Look, man, I understand you're young. I know you're gonna do this and that, but you know, you got to mature. We need you to mature, and and be more accountable to not just me, yourself, but your teammates. You know, we're trying to win some things here, and you're letting the fun, you know, kind of outdo what you're doing on the field, and you're showing up late, and you're smelling like alcohol. That's not a good look. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? He always kept it 100 with me that way, and like I said, he could have easily cut me a long time ago, because I was the king of, I promise, coach, I'll never do it again. And then the very next day I'll do it again. So like I said, he's a solid dude, man, rest his soul. But you know, he definitely, man, kept me where I need to be.
You know, another guy we can RIP for sure, Vontae Davis. I want to talk about, what was it like coming in the league together? You know, he's first round pick, you're second round pick, you're coming into the same room, you're both learning together. I know Nolan talked about that too, about how, like, when you first come in the league, you got like YB. You got a couple guys kind of holding that group together, and then they disappear, and y'all kind of like, oh fuck, we're in charge now. So
that's crazy. It was crazy, man, because it's like, it's hard enough to go through something alone. With the fact that I can look to my right and this person's going through the same exact thing as me. You know, you gotta remember, when we got drafted, they're already screaming the next Sam Madison, Patrick Surtain, and
hell yeah,
like,
they were.
I was,
like,
for sure.
damn. You know what I mean? Like,
screaming it.
bro, don't get me wrong. Our confidence was through the roof, but you know, at the same time, it's like, oh, okay, you feel a little bit of pressure. Like, damn, I gotta tighten up. So, Vontae, man, that was definitely my road dog, man. We kicked it a lot, we kicked it hard. But one thing about him, man, he was way more professional about his approach than I was. Obviously, because he had his brother Vernon, who, you know, I mean, been down the road, and he knows what it's like to, you know, party and work hard and stay on top of your body. So, you know, he was one of the first ones that, hey, Sean, when we get back, we gonna do this. We gonna be in the sauna. We gonna get IVs. We gonna eat right, and at lunchtime we gonna eat this. You know what I mean? So he always kept us on point. As far as maintaining our bodies to go out there and perform. But, you know, another guy, man, who had it all, you know, could tackle, could cover, speed, just a natural corner out there, man. So, I could always look over and learn from him. And it was motivational because I would see him make a play, and it's like, well, shit, I'm trying to get mine too. So, he make a play, I want to make a play, and we had some great years out there, man. Had a lot of fun, and it was just definitely exciting being out there on the field with him.
When you first got to Miami, I feel like you were coming in on a little bit of a high, right? When you look at Miami the year before, winning the AFC East in 08, and then you get there, right? I feel like the whole team was kind of just, they were just on top. It's time to kind of take that next step. How did you feel when I look back at Miami's journey and history and where they've been at? Obviously, not the best in the most recent years. Where did you feel that, obviously you weren't there before, but was there a drop off? Was there something that stood out to you where it's like, man, like we can't get over the hump of either the 7-7 or the 7-6 or whatever it might have been? Like, did you feel like there was something in the locker room or something possibly that you think the Dolphins could have done a little bit better to kind of get over that hump and get back to the championship?
Well, okay. Well, to answer your first question, when I got there, I was 6th or 7th string. So my role in Vontae, it started similar, but he went left, I went right. He was first round draft pick. When we came in, we had Will Allen, we had Jason Allen, we had Eric Green, Nate Jones. Who am I missing? 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like 5th, 6th. So I wasn't getting no kind of reps. So playoffs and getting over the hump, I wasn't thinking about none of that. I was trying to figure out how am I gonna get on the field. Yeah. Bro, I'm doing all kind of scout team, special team reps. I'm doing the most. All right. So, that was the only thing I was thinking about was how do I get on this field? And I ended up busting my ass through camp and all that. And then once the season started, our first year, you gotta realize after in 09, we had an agent Chad Pennington, great leader. You know what I mean? Well, he was on his way out. Our receiving core.
You can say it. You can say it, dog.
No. Hell no. We had great pieces. We were just missing the guy. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? We had Ted Ginn, could take the top off. Cool, you need a guy like that. Devon Best, Shifty in the slot. Cool, definitely a guy like that. Greg Camarillo out there. Crafty vet. You need a crafty vet out there, right?
Smart.
And who was the other person? 1, 2, 3. I think I'm missing one.
Who was in that era?
1, 2, 3. Well, off the top of my head, that's all I could think of for that first year. Okay, so then we go in our second year, and who do we go grab? We go get the beast.
Yeah.
Right? You go get Brandon Marshall.
Yep.
Cool. Now I'll be looking good. Did we get Reggie Bush that year too, or was that the third year?
Might have been another year. I think the name you were forgetting was Brian Hartline.
No, we had Hartline, but Hartline wasn't starting his first year, right? There was another guy.
I looked up 2009. And it was Brian Hartline was the 4th receiver.
Okay, yeah, because we had Hartline and Patrick Turner.
Patrick Turner.
Okay, got you. Okay, so cool. So on offense, that second year and forward, we had pieces. It's just that Chad Henne was another young quarterback. We got Pat White. Well, first of all, that Wildcat shit fucked us over. That's what it was. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Damn.
That shit was cool in 08. I don't think people realize how fast defenses catch on to little tricks. Because y'all got my boy Pat Whitehead knocked off, man. Fucking around with that Wildcat.
Ryan Clark. Yeah.
That shit wasn't going to work at all. So, it don't matter what kind of pieces you got. If you don't have a good quarterback back there, the defense has always been good. We've been a top 15 defense, You just got to have a quarterback back there, man. And that's something, unfortunately, Miami hasn't had in a long time. We drafted Tannehill, who, was a project because he transferred from receiver to quarterback, right?
Right.
So, he came in with, was it Sherman? Mike Sherman?
Because that was his coach from Texas A&M, right?
See what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about? So, we doing stuff like that. It's hard to ask a rookie to come in and outdo Tom Brady. Bro, it just wasn't happening. It just wasn't happening, man. And we ended up wasting a lot of good years with some good teams if we just got the right quarterback. So that's
You
what I
played with
meant.
a lot of legendary players in Miami. Off the top of my head, Ricky Williams, Jason Taylor, Cameron Wake. Who was a guy in the locker room that you felt like that didn't get the recognition they deserved?
Oh, man, that's a long list. That is a long list. I would say defensively, you can start at the linebacker position with Carlos Dansby. When he came, he definitely helped elevate that defense to another level. You had guys like Randy Starks, Kendall Langford at the DM position.
Kendall Langford's a good one.
Paul Soliai in the middle. These are guys that just, not probably big names, but we were so solid on defense, Jeremiah Bell was a great leader for our defense as well. Another quiet-spoken guy, but, worked his ass off. The perfect example of what you're supposed to be in the NFL. And he helped check a lot of us. He had some fucking 20, 30-inch biceps he got. He helped check a lot of us. Yeah. So
one guy on the team that I always liked watching, and he kind of has like a little cult following in the Dolphins fan base is Lusaka Polite.
Lou,
never missed the first down, man. Third and one, fourth and inches, third and inches.
Give it to him.
Love that guy, dude.
Another guy, great teammate, great locker room guy, man, who had a voice. You know what I mean? Probably didn't have the biggest role on the game plan, but his voice, you know what I mean? In that locker room, he was definitely one of the guys that helped rally us together when we were having them 7-9 seasons, and we had to win the last 2 out of 3 or something. And of course, we fuck it off. But he was definitely one of the players that hey man, we have a shot. Let's tighten this thing up.
Yep.
So we talked a little bit about how everything started getting going in Miami, but before it really got going, it was over. And I've heard some crazy stories about when Philbin got there and Kevin Cole and how he kind of approached you and Vontae day one. I definitely want you to tell this story and what the vibes were like, man. Because outside looking in, it's hard knocks. I got to call my grandma, and then it's you're a Chief, and it's all over. But I know there's a lot more to it.
Bro, see, the NFL is not what you think it is. Okay, it really is not what you think it is. It's a lot of disrespect that you got to sit there and just take, and can't say a word. You know what I mean? Especially when it's your contract year, right? So they bring in Philbin and Coach Cole and all them boys, and they brought me and Vontae into his office the first day, and just disrespects the fuck out of us. Like, first of all, I don't think you guys are shit. You guys are not this. You're not better than him. You're not better than him. And he's naming some names. I'm like, who? There's no fucking way. I damn near want to laugh in his face, but out of respect, okay, you DC, I'm gonna let you get this off. Say whatever you gotta say. You're already starting off on the wrong foot. But again, I think this is my contract. It was my contract year, my last year. So I can't say much. I'm still new in this league thing. I don't want to just overly disrespect you because I'm trying to get paid myself. So, all right, I'm sitting here, I'm taking it. Man, I think that first practice, me and Vontae both go out there and get picks. Like, we're just clamping everything. A solid day, right? We walking off the field, high-fiving and laughing, and he just pulls me to the side and just rips me for no reason. Like, bro, who do you think you are? I think he didn't like my confidence. I think he didn't like my swag, my attitude. And he was like, who do you think you are? Like, I'm so sick of you walking around with your nose up. You think you're the shit. You're really not nothing. And this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, okay, I see what kind of year this is going to be. So then we go forward, and then we got the Hard Knocks. And then they trade Vontae. And we're just sitting here like, what are we doing? Like literally, what are we doing? The defense, they need to be touched. We need to put points on the board, not worry about the defense. And then you take away a piece that was important to us. And then again, I get called in the meeting room again, cuss my ass out some more, talking about now I got to step it up and XYZ. I mean, shit that I already know, but he talked to us like we were college kids, and I felt like guys didn't respect him for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So instead of his transition going smoothly, he came at us the wrong way, man, and it definitely showed.
We hear a few different stories about when Hard Knocks gets into a locker room. Some players don't even know that they're there. Some players take issue with it. What was it like for you personally and for the locker room what's it like to have Hard Knocks around constantly, cameras in your face?
To be honest with you, it's the NFL, so you're always being watched anyway. You know what I mean? Regardless of if you see an actual camera or not, you're always being watched. You know, so to have an extra camera crew, again, I'm still young. It was exciting to me. I'm going against Chad Ochocinco every day. You know, he talking shit, I'm talking shit. So that little personal battle was fun. I didn't have a problem with it at all.
I always, when I remember, when I had the chance to play at University of Florida and when cameras came out and guys had the mic'd up situations, you started to see some characters come out a little more. Like guys maybe weren't loafing as much, or guys that don't really talk the most or yapping a little bit more. And you talk about in the NFL, obviously, there's always people watching, right? And things like that. But, I get the sense of a little bit just knowing how athletes are and how the game is, that can happen in locker rooms. And that's why a lot of teams sometimes decline Hard Knocks, is because they don't want it to be a distraction or don't want there to be personalities that come out that really just aren't there. Like, do you feel that maybe that had a little bit of the effect on just maybe the leadership roles, or who kind of stood out as characters, or maybe just, what went on and behind the scenes stuff?
To be honest with you, we had none of that. Everybody that was a character before was the same guy after. I don't want to sit there and say that anybody showed out extra for the camera, because that definitely wasn't the case.
Mm-hmm.
We already knew who the personalities were going into this thing, and that definitely didn't expose anything about us as far as that year.
Now, Sean, I always like asking cornerbacks this question, because we had Xavier Howard on here and he kind of answered it really fun. I'm like, we got to ask that every single time. And who's the toughest receiver you had to cover, whether it was in practice or in the league? And was there ever a time during a game or in practice, you could be as honest as you want, where you're like, damn, I'm just getting cooked by this guy?
I ain't gonna lie to you, and this is gonna be a name. If you're a real press corner, you're gonna respect everything I say. Stevie Johnson from the Buffalo Bills.
I've seen that a lot, like a lot of interviews.
Bro.
Yeah.
When I seen Revis had issues pressing this guy, I was like, oh, I'm cooked. I don't even stand a chance. It's over with. You know what I mean? Like, and I swear to God, one of the funniest things is one of my best plays was an accident because of him. Like, I was in Kansas City. I have a 100-yard pick six. Sounds great, right? No. He cooked me so bad off the line, it put me in position to get a pick for a pass that wouldn't even go. Like, he's wide open, but I damn near fell to the side, and pick came right to me. I went 100 yards. I scored. So I appreciate him for that. But man, Stevie had that work at the line of scrimmage. Like, if you was gonna press him all day, you knew you was in trouble. Especially when they had Fitz Magic over there. I was just throwing it to him regardless. So he used to take forever with his crossover releases, and that ball was coming no matter what. So you always do going into Buffalo. If 13 came over there, man, you had that work. But as far as overall, the hardest receiver I had to cover probably was Andre Johnson. I had to face Andre, man. He was my size, 6'4", maybe 230, ran a 4.3, grown man strength. Like, I've never
beating
encountered.
ass.
You whooping some ass out there, you know what I mean? So literally, I've never encountered anything like that, man. So facing him was definitely an eye opener.
I want to go back a little bit to the Dolphins. Just like, what you say that, like, was the disrespect, was that kind of the start of the end for you as well? They trade Vontae, they're disrespecting you every day. Did you kind of have it in your mind like, yeah, I'm out of here. As soon as my contract's up, I'm looking for something else? Or did you really give it your best shot and it just didn't work out in Miami? I always want to know, like, because we have a terrible history of like getting rid of homegrown talent. We never keep it. You, Vontae, Jarvis Landry. I could go on and on. And then you bring guys in and pay guys, overpay guys that, you know, maybe they deserve it, maybe they don't, but that's not the point. You can't really build a culture that way. But I kind of want to know, like, where did it all go bad for you and why did you end up, you know, deciding you needed something different?
Nah, man, Miami's been my home ever since I got here. I've never left. And I'm from California, love California. But once I came to this coast over here, this was home. So leaving wasn't a thought. You know, especially when they traded Vontae, I'm like, oh, I'm good. I'm staying right here. Right? Yeah. I know me and him beefing, but shit, that has nothing to do with me and my contract and the GM. And unfortunately, Jeff Ireland, sorry ass, destroyed the Miami Dolphins. I'm gonna say it first, right here. He personally, you can talk to anybody you want to who's not playing no more or whatever that ran to the Dolphins organization. That guy, terrible. I think he offered me like 1.2 or like it was something crazy. I'm like what? That's no way. It's, you know what? I hung up so fast. Bro, get the fuck off my phone. Fuck off my phone. So, you know, nobody never wants to leave Miami. Come on now. So, you know, just that brief conversation about what we're going to do in the offseason, we're going to extend and whatnot. Nah, he started talking disrespectful with numbers. You know, I got to take care of myself. So I had to make that move.
Unreal.
But he's done that with a lot of players. Yeah. A lot of players.
Yeah, you're not surprising too many fans in the fan base by saying Jeff Ireland ruined the Miami Dolphins. We were flying planes over the stadium, Fire Ireland.
Yeah, when we first started, we mentioned Philbin. Man, Philbin was just an offensive guy. He was on that side of the ball. He didn't really talk or none of that. He just wanted to do his little offense, and that was it. Ireland was really the one who thought he ran the whole organization, and he was just making some bullshit decisions. Like, I really don't understand what that man was thinking.
We completely agree with you.
It's like there's not a lot of great, honestly. It's awesome to talk to the older players because y'all really did put in that work. That's probably some of the best years of our life and being a fan. You know, we're all in our mid-30s, except for Wingo. That's baby boy right there. That's 24 right there. It's like, dude, none of these guys did shit. We've never had a quarterback. You want to believe we never had a good GM, and they let people just keep their jobs, and they let people like you walk, and they trade Jarvis Landry to Guantanamo Bay. It's just like, it's the craziest shit around here, man.
It is, man, and it's frustrating. You know, even when I was my first couple of years, I'm young, and you know, obviously I'm listening to the older guys talk about it, the business side of things. You just see the moves that he was making, and then when I get older and now I'm the vet, I'm saying the same shit. It's the same story over and over and over and again. And then the common denominator is that guy. So, you know, it sucks because we've had some talent come through Miami. You know, and if you can't keep talent in Miami, then what does that say about you? Like, this has to be one of the most attractive places to come to, you know, and guys are coming in and out.
So I got to ask you, obviously you're keeping up with the Dolphins, right? Obviously just went through the draft, got a new coach, got a new GM. What are your thoughts on kind of, you know, this upcoming season, maybe some guys that, you know, you're interested in that we picked up, you know, obviously Chris Johnson, you know, cornerback as well. Have you had the chance to watch him? You know, what are you feeling so far with the 2026 Dolphins?
No, I haven't had a chance to watch him. I'm actually curious, like the rest of us, see what they're going to do. We got the new quarterback. You know, he's a guy with strong arm. I mean, but the potential is there. But, you know, until you go out there and play on a Sunday, you know, and how many games are we going to give him till we feel like, oh, we made a mistake? Like, I'm curious to see how the fans are going to react. You know, let's say he comes out there and he's a little mediocre, or, you know, or if he comes out, he's just a bed. How fast are we going to move on and be like, boo, fuck this next guy? Or are we going to be more patient because we're still trying to build? You know what I mean? We don't have all the pieces yet. We're still building. You know, I just hope, you know, the fans are just a little bit more patient and understand that, you know, we are taking a step back. Honestly, I mean, shit.
Yeah, one thing Miami fans aren't known for is overreacting. So I don't think there's really any worries.
I mean, we was close. It was close,
Yeah.
man. I mean, when McDaniel and them first got here, you had Vital and Tyreek out there, scoring points left and right.
Yeah.
It's that's been Miami for the longest. We get right there, and then shit goes downhill.
Preaching the choir, dude. Preaching the choir.
Well, we've always lacked, complimentary football. Like when we had y'all boys, we had a great defense. We didn't have enough horsepower on the offensive side. And then when we have the number one offense in football, defense can't stop a nosebleed. It's just kind of been our thing. And that goes back to roster structure and GMs. So, yeah, right there with you, dog.
Yeah, at the end of the day, man, that's what it is. You got to have all three phases: offense, defense, and special teams. It's not easy, but I mean, shit, those guys get paid too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we for sure gonna cuss out the players when they fuck up. So, you got to hold them coaches and GMs accountable.
Sean, you kind of took us through your entire football journey, all the way from high school to college to the NFL. What are some things you learned about perspective and growth, and from 20-year-old Sean Smith to where you're at now and what you're doing in life? What are some things that you've learned that you can kind of bring to younger players in this generation, even at the high school level, that you've learned throughout the league? Some of the most important things.
I would say one of the most important things I've learned throughout this journey is being honest with myself. Because you got to realize these guys have been the guy their entire life. Go to college and be the guy just for you to go to the NFL team and say, you're going to be a special teams guy. Mm-hmm. That's tough. That's a hard pill to swallow for a lot. You don't know how many players I've seen get frustrated with starting off with special teams first and not getting a lot of defensive reps to where mentally like, man, fuck this, coach is tripping. And then now they're not giving 100% effort on special teams because they're waiting for that big break on defense. Like I said earlier, I started off on special teams, and I was a starter on defense in college. But I had to be honest with myself in my situation. Hey, this is the hand I was dealt. I'm on special teams. I got to do the work to get on the field. You know what I mean? And everything else is going to come out later. You got to understand the business side of it too. This is not college anymore. No one's kissing your ass. You're just a number. We can replace you tomorrow. Unless you're a first round, second round pick, everybody else, you can get replaced easy. So, check your ego, be honest with yourself when you're watching film. Is my technique right? Am I doing things the right way? How do the coaches view me? Because perspective is everything up here, right? You may think you're the man, but if they perceive you as something else, well, that's what it is, motherfucker, because, you're on their team. So being honest, man, know your know your limits and your strengths, man, and you just work. And that's it.
When you watch the game today with all the rules, heavy leaning towards helping the offensive player and, being a guy that likes to get up on the line of scrimmage and put your hands on people, how do you feel about that?
Oh, I mean, I always prided myself in never getting a lot of penalties called on me in the first place. Once I learned about illegal contact past 5 yards, that was enough for me to change my game around, but still be effective in pressing at the same time. I mean, everybody wants to see points scored, right? They want to throw the ball around, highlights, and all that kind of stuff, man. You guys look at it as another challenge. It's part of the game. You can't complain about it. But it just challenged you to be a better technician instead of going out there and thinking I'm about to just beat the shit out of a guy at the line, which is unrealistic. You know what I mean? There are a lot of great examples of cornerbacks right now who are using a lot of good technique out there. And with the social media the way it is nowadays, kids have plenty of examples to look from and choose which one they want to do.
Yeah, it just seems like there's always a new rule in the modern game. Even not even saying that you didn't even play in the modern game because you did, but it just feels like the rules are evolving so fast that you can't hit a quarterback these days. You can't touch a receiver. And being a physical guy that played at the line of scrimmage like yourself, it's always good getting perspective on what you think of today's game.
Yeah, the part I don't like is the defenseless receiver with safeties
Yeah.
hitting receivers over the middle. Because sometimes, you know, you may be going for the ball in just the last second, you're supposed to abort and
Yeah.
duck your head. And while he's coming full speed, that's tough. I don't think people realize how hard that is, because when you see it on film, they slow it down. It's
Yep.
like, oh, look, he could have ducked his head right there. It's like, bro, that play happened like that. Like, it's no way he could have avoided that. But
Yeah,
I mean, it is
especially when
what
you're
it
making a
is.
play on the football and you collide with the receiver. We've seen I think it was it 2 years ago or last year that the Jordan Poyer incident up in Miami or Buffalo, and honestly lost the game,
Yeah.
and it was the defenseless receiver. Unbelievable.
I just wish they would lower the fines for that. You know what I mean? It's people don't get not everybody's making millions. All right, let me
Right.
just put that out there. You know what I mean? Some guys are getting, let's say, 16,000 a check. If you find them 10, 15,000, that's gone.
Yep.
That's out. So, not everybody's making millions, man. And these fines are hurting people. And these are guys are just kind of trying to make the team or just trying to make a play.
When you look back towards the end of your career, when did you know it was time to retire, hang it up, or did you just go out on top, or how did it work out for you? I didn't really think about that. It's kind of ironic, but go ahead. My bad, dog.
How did I know it was time? When I got put in the back of that cop car, that's how I knew it was time.
I swear I didn't mean to lay it up like I did, but go ahead, dog.
It's a cold world, man. That was an unfortunate time in my life, man. You get put in that cop car, or you're heading down that long hallway to the cell, and it's like, this is it. This is how it goes. Like, Sean, you know what? I think I was turning 30, or I was 30. And I'm just like, it's no way you about to get out of jail in your 30s and think you're gonna play again. Like, it's out there. It feels about young, cheap talent. It sucked because I didn't get a chance to go out the way I wanted to. But that's life. It's when you're in the NFL, all it takes is one moment, one play, one anything, and it is over. They always say you never know what's gonna be over with, so enjoy it like it's your last. And that's kind of what happened to me. I was on top of the world, just signed a new contract, I'm getting paid, and one night, one moment ruined everything. So I gotta live with that for the rest of my life. But it is what it is.
Yeah, that's got to be a humbling experience too. I mean, I know it's probably changed your perspective, probably made you a more present father, all kinds of stuff that you had time to think about. But how humbling is that though? To like you said, you are the man, you're making millions, you're an NFL player, and to realize now you're sitting in a 10 by 10 cell and like it could all be taken from you, really, over just a night out.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, because golly, man, you have it all. Everything you work for, everything you've ever wanted, I had it. And just one bonehead moment. And like I said, you never think it's gonna be me.
Right.
You never think it's gonna be you. Never had any issues in Miami. I've been out a million times, never got into it with nobody. And to go to California and have one little moment. And then when you get out, there always is a little bit of hope. Maybe. And it's just no one's returning their phone calls.
Yeah.
And you gotta just swallow that pause. And it's just like, man, it is what it is. It sucks. It eats at you for a little bit, but you got to be accountable to yourself and be honest with myself. Like, all right, well, hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You put yourself in that situation. You can't sit here and dwell on it. You know what I mean? I done played 9 years. Shit. So all right, let's just close that chapter, move on, and shit. Now I'm on to coaching my son up, watching him play ball.
So I got to ask you this last one. Something I always kind of been told of my parents was, it takes 1,000 decisions, 1,000 things to happen for you to build something great. But it's that one thing that can take away those 1,000 moments. Does that kind of go back to, what you're doing at Chaminade, right? And with just the younger generation, with your son, like being able to pass down some of these lessons and some of these experiences that you've had yourself in order to make that younger generation hopefully not make the same mistakes or be able to just be better than you at the end of the day. Because I feel like that's the ultimate message as a father, right? Being so hard as a dad is, I don't want you to be me. I want you to be better than me. Is that, something that's constantly, reconciling in your head and how you go on a day-to-day basis?
No, yeah, for sure. And nowadays it's even harder because social media is everywhere. Like there's always a camera pointing at you, whether you know it or not. You know what I mean? If there was cameras back then in the early 2000s in Miami, oh my God, I can't imagine. Bro. But with the younger guys, man, they're so talented, they're so gifted. I'm like, man, you guys got to be extra careful because the smallest mistake is going to ruin it for you. You have kids getting NIL now; they're getting paid in high school, in college, like they're getting broke off early. And I'm like, you got to grow up and mature now because this one little mistake at a party or with this girl, bro, it's going to shred your whole operation, man, and you're going to wish you had a second chance or it never happened. So I'm definitely preaching that to my guys, man. We have tons of talent. My son already knows because I've been on his head since day one. But yeah, man, I'm definitely preaching that to the kids, man, because I want the best for them. Chaminade is a great program, man, with great leadership out there. And we've had kids commit some amazing colleges, man, who not only are getting great players, but great people as well.
Yeah, we appreciate you being open about that, man. I honestly didn't mean to lay it up. Honestly,
oh, really?
when I hit the punchline, I was like, God, damn, that's kind of fucked up. Because I didn't really think about. I wasn't going there. I really wasn't.
That's all good.
And when your reaction and smile, I said, "Holy shit, that's when it happened." But dude, obviously, this is what we're here for, man. To have real conversations. The cool stuff, the bad stuff. That's what people want to hear. So we appreciate the conversation, and we appreciate your time tonight, man. It's been awesome. Yeah. It's always great to get you guys on and talk about the past, man. Right? And you were awesome, man. You were great. You were an open book and a really fun conversation. Want to wrap up here, but hang out for 1 minute backstage. I'll make sure your local file saves so we can make some clips with it.
All right, man. For sure, man. Appreciate you guys for having me.
Yep, appreciate you.